very good evening to you and welcome to EBN TV, the Spheres of Life. And this is where we give the stories that matter in your life. We make sure there's transparency, there is objectivity and sanity in our stories. Today is a very good day as we await, or even this being the eve of Sabasaba. And we shall be telling us what you think we should be celebrating when it comes to Sabasaba. You will remember it is an occasion or an event that took place back in 1990, and I know many watching were not born then. So what memories come, or what reflection comes in your mind when you remember Sabasaba Day? This is the political, or fixing the political misfits, and I'm your host Jeff Kimayu. Remember our social media platforms are TLPTV on YouTube and Jeff Somba the Legend on Facebook. We were expecting a lot of guests tonight, but because of reasons and issues that we could not avoid, we're just having one tonight. You shall bear with us. Kindly send your text, your comment. We shall be reading it in a short while. You can share and you can keep watching. Please don't fail to comment. And again, tomorrow, people are moving or going to the streets, and we have to be careful. We have to check our safety. So if you're going to the streets, make sure that you're safe and make sure that you protect what does not belong to you. This is Fixing the Political Misfits with Jeff Kimayu and Gladson Madine. And this is how we roll into the show.
The 7th of July, otherwise known here in Kenya as Sabasaba Day. So, why is it called Sabasaba Day? It marks the commemoration of a major pro-democracy demonstration that happened on the 7th of July 1990, where Kenyans marched to the streets demanding for constitutional change to repeal Section 2A of the old constitution, which would allow for multi-party democracy. It was also a reaction out of the desperation of Kenyans who had for long lived under the dictatorship of then-President Daniel Arap Moi and a one-party state rule under KANU. Young politicians who were known as the Young Turks, with the support of more experienced politicians, called for a massive rally that was supposed to be held at the Kamukunji grounds on the 7th of July, 1990. But on the days leading up to 7th July, the government of President Moi was not comfortable with the kind of influence the young politicians were having on the country, and they started targeting leaders of the Sabasaba movement. Charles Rubia, Raila Odinga, and Kenneth Matiba were arrested and detained days before Sabasaba. But that did not stop the rally from happening. There was enough anger and frustration among Kenyans to push them to come out and protest against the oppressive regime. So on the 7th of July, they came out. Kenyans took to the streets to push for constitutional reforms, and they were met by armed police who tear-gassed and clobbered them, leaving hundreds, if not thousands, injured. James Orengo, Paul Muite, and Gitobu Manyara were some of the young politicians who led the protests on Sabasaba Day, and they too were not spared by the police. The impact of the Sabasaba riots became a trigger for the second liberation movement in the 90s, a movement that gave birth to multi-party democracy in Kenya. 31 years later, Sabasaba has never been recognized as a national holiday, but it is still remembered by Kenyans as a day when citizens decided to act against an oppressive regime. It is also a day that many human rights defenders used to call for the end of police brutality. Given the kind of violence and brute force that was unleashed on Kenyans who were protesting on the streets on Sabasaba in 1990, it left 21 dead and thousands injured. As generations pass, the memories of Sabasaba become less amplified. But in the history books, the impact of the events of the 7th of July 1990 will always be a major turning point in the history of Kenya's democracy.
Okay, welcome back, and that is what was happening during Sabasaba 1990. And 1990, okay, I don't tell you something that happened in 1990. So 1990, I think I was 40 years, okay. All right. It's good. Now, as I started to introduce the show, is that tomorrow we're expecting a lot of movements on the streets, on the paths. And the most important thing that I would like us to put into consideration is that it will take like 1 minute or even 1 day to waste or even to make our country into a wastage, but it will cost us like 50 years to come where we are. Like if you can remember, since 1960s there, when we were very close to attaining freedom, you can count the number of years that we have since we became a republic and as a country. So it is so expensive to build something. So if at all we have to demonstrate, being our constitutional right to picket and to demonstrate kindly, let's observe sanity, and let's observe safety and again protection of what belongs to us as a country. Tonight we have Gladson Madine. He is the director Ghetto Grinders Community Network, and he'll be helping us fix the political misfits. Welcome to EBN TV, Gladson.
Thank you.
Yes, it's a long time since we met.
Yeah, almost a month.
Have you been? Yes, almost a month. Have you been?
Doing great. Kungangana juna vitu mingi because we have a lot of things to do.
Yeah, sure.
From mental health trainings, ghetto grinders, and other things. Najaribu kumix tu zote mpaka zipatiane, yes.
At least you make unga.
Yeah, unga ndio maana.
Okay.
Unga.
Yeah, sure. And what we were doing last time when we were around here was about mental health. And I think it is still coming into what we are doing today because we are fixing a nation, or even we are fixing what we feel like it is a misfit. It is what should be done in our political landscapes, or even what our politicians. And again, let me now not call them politicians. They are now leaders. After we elect them, they become leaders. Yeah. So I think there are some things they're doing which we feel they are not going or even aligning with what we expect. Yeah. And we should expect what we voted, or even the value of the votes should be regularized with their inputs. Yeah. Yeah. Now, before we enter there, 1990, I said I had 40 years. What do you remember Sabasaba 1990? And that was the first episode when Kenya was being pushed into being a multi-party nationality.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I was not born, but
that I was 40.
But you are 40, yes. So you can imagine. Yeah. So I watched a documentary recently, and one there was this politician who was being asked about how the Sabasaba came about, and he just gave a good history about everything, and you could understand why Sabasaba was very important. You know. Currently, people may not actually understand it because they maybe when they put from the context of what is happening now. Yeah. But in that period, kulikuwa na the late President Moi, who was then the president of Kenya, and Kenya was our single party state, whereby hakukuwa kama sasa hivi tuko na ODM, tuko na UDA, we have Wiper. Kuna ya DCP, sikiza wa Kenya imekuja mpya, and many others. By then huku unakubalika, ilikuwa tu chama ni moja, chama ya baba na mama, KANU. That's what alikuwa anasema. So and they felt given that kila mtu akanaona kama say everyone who is in UDA has to align with what the president is saying for you to survive. Okay? Any dissenting voice unatolewa kwa serikali, right? So then it was either you are in KANU or in KANU. So they felt like kuna vitu maybe the president is not doing that is not right, but you cannot speak them out. Then you also kuna values that you maybe you share, then kuna those that you don't share but una feel they are important. And now how can you now compete against an idea that you don't agree to when you are in the same party? So they saw the need now upon we need to change the political landscape, whereby now let us also advocate for more parties, so that people can now align to the party that better suits their what they think is their values, what they think Kenya should look like. Because each and every president, like let's say last year, the last elections, because before to make President Ruto, we had ODM's manifesto, we had UDA's manifesto, and many other manifestos kama ya Wajakoya. Okay, so each and every person alikuwa na draw a Kenya that they want. See, so hata wale wa Sabasaba they had a mind whereby kulikuwa na Kenneth Matiba alimtaja pale, Raila Orengo, Martha Karua, all these people were part of that Sabasaba. So what they said is that they felt like the political landscape was so congested, they needed a bit of freedom. So ilibidi, you can't talk to the president directly. They had to use the had a route. And it was not easy because most of the politicians walikuwa wanaenda wanawa approach, wanawaambia we need to do this, wanawaambia sisi hapo hatuoni kama ita make because this guy is powerful. People want to die. Mataka kuwekwa kwa chambers, mataka kuuawa. So many were afraid. But later they decided that the wale watatukubali. A few that will agree to this, alisema mmoja wale kwa Oginga Odinga. So wale few that agreed wakasema let's go. So wakaona there is still a missing link. Now we need to take Matiba, who was also part of the poor fiercely against the government. So akaongeza Matiba kwa hiyo list and now they did the Sabasaba thing. Yes, people were injured. I don't know, I didn't follow the number of deaths because they were not there. I could taja maybe nothing, no one was that documented or something. So akasema a lot of people were beaten, a lot of people were injured. Tuliona mpaka ule Timothy Njoya. I love that guy. Pia alikuwa part of the people that really went through a lot. But ultimately, we saw the fruit, whereby the thing that stood out, what they did during that Sabasaba, yes, they took to the streets and so many people rioted, but I don't remember them saying kuna any shop that was looted, there is anything that will happen in Mbaya apart from them. Wao ndo waliumia, but it was because of something that they were advocating for, but ultimately they won.
Sure. And in conjunction to that, there is something that we've been looking at and we are seeing from a very long time, that every time you put a leader or even you put someone into any political position as a leader, there is a written manual, like the manifesto, or even there are the promises that you give to people as you campaigning. But when you are elected and you're put into that position, you don't deliver as you did. And when we start to recall our leaders, or even when we start to correct them, we want them to do this and that. As you said, during 1990, the first Sabasaba event, we wanted to change our country to be a multi-party nation, whereby different party will air out their issues or even views actually in the purpose or even in the biggest mandate to make sure that our country grows. Why is it so hard for a leader to listen after you're elected, to listen back to the voters after they are elected? And why is it so hard when they are corrected, they don't feel like I have to bend to what these people are lamenting of, even if you don't bend 100-fold? Why is it so hard for leaders to bend a bit, to listen?
Okay, mimi nasemanga ni political bad manners, whereby people think once they are sent to power, that is it. Kazi ya wananchi inaishanga once they wamevote na wamekuweka pale, wamekuja kwa umeinua Biblia after swearing in, the kazi ya wananchi inaisha, ni kazi yako inaanza. So with that in mind, hakuna kitu utawahi fanya, which is okay. You see, I will put it into the context of I am in the NGO world, sana where humanity is key. And one of the things wanga tunaambiwa, when you go even to pitch for money, maybe to ask people for donations or maybe help, any kind of help, hata kama ni easy company for their either corporate social responsibility CSRs, they will ask you, iki tu unafanya, how does the community feel about it? That's the question they ask. Number 2, have they accepted it? 3, do you think it will benefit them? So each and every question we're going to unaulizwa, it is not about you, it is about them. So each and every time umeingia pale, these people wanga wanasahau. Angalia, let's go back to where it all started. Ilianza ile maandamano last year June. One of the things ilichochea watu ni the opulence the leaders were showcasing. Mimi niko njaa, I can't even afford 100 bob. Then nionyesha watch ya 3 million. Unaona? Kiatu ya 25 million. Or maybe kitu fulani ya so much money. Now you parade it on Twitter, on X, on Facebook, or on all social media platforms. In the design I know uko njaa, but mimi niko na pesa. But utadu. You see? So once mimi niko na njaa, I'm already hungry. And mzungu alisema a hungry person is an angry person. So if you are niko njaa, niko na hasira. So ukinionyesha uko na pesa na unipei, hata hasira inapanda zaidi. You see? And that is why these people wanaanza kuona. So these people wameingia pale not for us, just to enrich themselves. Now if someone can easily afford saya 3 million or more, na sisi hapa kuna kitu wanafanya. Kuna barabara inafaa itengenezwe, kuna maybe hospitali inafaa ijengwe, kuna shule ambazo tumeona hata hazina mabati, kama roof ni leaking roof or maybe zimezeeka. So hiyo 3 million mtu ana imagine 3 million mtu ameweka kwa isa, akiweka kwa ile shule, a lot can be done. So people, the problem is watu wakifika pale, they just think about the future. Mtu anaona how much can I accumulate now, so that if I don't go back, already niko na enough. Then two, people just forget what they just think that politics is all about what you say and not what you do. It's something that inatu affect as people, because ukiingia pale ulituambia I will make sure this type of women are empowered. I will work with the hustler people. My government will focus more on empowering the people at the bottom. You see, and something that iliuza, it sold well because people felt finally kuna mtu mwenye ame understand wale watu wako chini. And that's why hata sasa there is so much frustration because ilikuwa boss ulisema sisi. Okay, kuna someone mwenye alijoka akasema the cabinet haina hustlers, kwa nini hakuna hustlers? Mimi nikasema okay, we can't put hustlers everywhere. It's not possible. However, the impact the government to the hustlers must be apparent. Hey, mimi sio lazima uniweke kama CS. Just create for me an avenue whereby I can thrive on my own. Naona nikuwe na uwezo ya kujitafutia pesa. No one will care about the presidency or any CS or anything, but once umefika pale, vitu watu wanaona ni kiburi, how you speak to people, you don't even speak to them, you speak at them. Unaona? Then two, you show how rich you have become in less than 2 years in power. And three, there is nothing people are feeling on the ground. Vitu ndio you are saying that the economy is working, but the people at the bottom are not feeling it. Tulikuwa tumetoka kwa regime yenye mlituambia that regime ilikuwa imeharibu economy and you are coming to fix it, but instead of fixing it, people wanna feel like you're not actually doing anything. Hata ile ni kama ni better than this. You see, so once people start comparing in that situations, napata kwamba now you should be questioning your attitudes toward those people that you are leading, because as a leader, when you are there, in the Bible I say that when the righteous are in authority, people should be rejoicing. So we thought or we still believe that he is part of those people who are righteous. Okay, so we should be rejoicing. So if we are not rejoicing, we should not start questioning ourselves. Are you even righteous?
This is to mean something was not good from the start.
Exactly.
Okay. Sawa. And I think before we still keep on shifting, in line with the same what you've commented on, there is the issue of, as I said, I come to you, ile tu ya kutupa, I try to throw unga to you, I throw 200 to you, then after you put me where I wanted, I feel that I'm not, it's like you people did not play any part in putting me where I am right now. So at this juncture, I want you to talk to our voters and us being part of the voting team. Just a very stern and strict message to these people, because in line with that, we are seeing and witnessing a lot of running battles when it comes to protests and demonstrations. But I think, yes, we have the right to do that because we shall be touching something on the same. But again, you may do something to a point where, like, what you are doing, or even what you are doing, directing to someone else, they are not feeling the effect of the same. And I felt if we don't win or become victorious through our paths and routes demonstrating, I think voting will be the medal to make us win. Yeah, definitely. And one of the things is we want to make mistake as a people. I know you cannot separate politics with money, but once mimi you cannot eat the money of the king, then stand to contradict him. Ukishakula pesa ya mfalme ni hivyo. So also pia sisi kama voters, we should stop hii issue ya ati we vote for the richest or ule mwenye anatoa pesa mingi. Unasikia? Mimi siwezi enda political rally za ule atawagi do. Mimi nitaenda ya huyu juu anatoanga pesa. Yes, it's okay. But do you know these people wanga wengi wao wanakuwa funded by banks? They take loans and huge loans because politics is very expensive. Anachukua pesa kutoka kwa loans, kuna savings zake mwenyewe, kuna wale marafiki ameomba, akawaambia nikiingia I will. Unaget? So the more anakupea pesa, the more anakusukuma away from him. Unaona? Then itafika siku akwambia si wewe nilikupea yako. Si tumemalizana. So wewe mambo yangu na wewe tukutane tena after 5 years nikupea ingine utoke karibu na mimi. So what I will tell the voters is this. Let us not vet leaders
leaders based on how much money they have. Let us look into the values. What does this person bring? How genuine are they? Na manifesto anatuambia, is he just building for us castles in the air, ama ni akona manifesto ina make sense? Because mtu akikwambia nitakutengenezea hii barabara as an MP, you need to question the moral authority of that. How can he do that? Okay? Because hiyo ni function yake ama sio yake. So that brings in now the aspect of civic education, whereby I think people, especially we who are in the NGO world, we should now embrace kitu ya civic education. Explain to the voters what is the work of an MC? What is the work of an MP? What is the work of a women rep? Unaona? Because unapata mtu anaenda mpaka anaambia women rep ampatie bursary. And you're like, sasa aje. You see? So we need to understand all these things, explain to them what each and every person matters to them, and also ya mwisho, to stop voting. Afadhali tukae kwa nyumba, usikize from there, than taking money from this. Mtu akikuja mwambie mimi sitaki pesa yako, we want accountability. We want a playing field whereby without your money or without your influence, we can judge you. Unaona, utasema pesa yako ndio ilifanya tukakupigia or something of that sort. It kweni out of consciousness, umekaa ukavet all these leaders umesimama in my area from bottom to top mpaka president, uangalie uone hao watu wote how are they going to help me? Understand, because uongo mingi na kwanga poster. Understand their manifesto. Mtu akikwambia I will enhance security ya area, angalia how can he do that? Mtu anakuambia I will make sure kuko na street lighting huku, angalia how much can he do? How much influence does he have on that in so from there utaanza kujua tu huyu hii manifesto ameka hapa definitely ni ya kujiuza. Auzi sera yake ni yeye mwenyewe anajiuza just to blind us and stuff like that. So one, let us remove our desire for money. Let us have the desire for change. Hiyo ndio one. Then two, people should now educate each other. Let us take as an opportunity, because I know people will riot. I know we'll talk about that. We will riot and everything else. But kuna mtu mwenye hizi rioting hata yeye afuati. Unaona? Kuna wale hata TV hawana. Kuna wale hizi vitu wanaambiwa tu kama rumors. So they don't know anything. So we need to give them proper education. Mtu aelewe kwamba this is how the politics works, and so that everyone akitoka anaenda kuvunini. Then lastly, when it comes to voter registration. Last year tunaambiwa kila wakati kwamba the youth are the majority. Na youth ndo majority, but you still find the majority who are the youth are still voting the old people. So you want to change the narrative of a place by returning the same people who are there, but now bringing new names. Ni kama watu walikuwa wanasema you are changing the monkeys, but the trees are remaining the same. So hakuna desirable change. So sahi ni wakati tunaambiwa take votes ni one, vijana wachukue votes. All of us, let us go and take IDs. Chukusaya hata walipunguza, siku hizi ID ni free. Kitambo ilikuwa juzi ilikuwa dhao. Siku hizi wamepunguza ni free. You just take an ID, go and register as a voter. Then from there, hata mnaweza ungana kama vijana. You bring your own leader. Mnaona mtu anakaa kuna qualities poa as a leader. Wacha tumweke hapa. Mkimvotia apite. Ndivyo. As long as you have numbers in parliament, you have numbers in senate, you have the numbers in MCS huku chini. President lazima acheze. Because anajua ni either wasikize ama bills zake zianguke zote, or ya mwisho mnaweza mtoa. Because anajua sahihi ana kitu. Look at Mr. President, what did he do? Immediately aliascend to power hivi, alichukua all the political MPs.
And actually, a lot of people were rejoicing.
Exactly.
You can still keep on the same. I was just saying that I saw a lot of relations people feeling that this is the right way, because our president is ready to work with everyone. Risk of that.
It's a very risky move. Ndio watu wengi wanaona ni kama it's more of kuleta ati working with the position, but look at it, if you look at it keenly, it's not actually working with ni bring the masses closer to him, so that akwe na more influence. So na kama sasa anajua akisema huyu governor atolewe atatolewa, akisema huyu governor abaki atabaki. Ukiangalia kama ule wa Kericho, politically instigated, aliambiwa huyu save this guy, akaseviwa. The other person huyo wa Meru alikuwa into coalition because of the president, huyo peleka yeye home. So tunaona nini inahusu hapo, the numbers. The deputy president atolewe, what happened? The numbers. Why? Niliuliza watu walikuwa wanasema ati Uhuru was lenient to the Ruto, kumtoa. But mimi nikawaambia, look at what Ruto did. Ruto took all the MPs karibu wote walikuwa na Jubilee, akawaleta pandia kwake. There were many to him. So ile quorum ya kumtoa ainge make whether with the ODM members in or not. But kwa kutoa Mr. Gachagua it was easier. Alikuwa na ODM na UDA karibu yote pande yake. So it's all about numbers. So as much as we are rejoicing when watu wanaingia kwa join government from the opposition, also we need to understand the consequences of everything that we agree to.
That's true. And I think that is a very wise one. And remember, you watching EBN TV, the Spheres of Life, and this is Fixing the Political Misfits with Glasson Madine, Director, Ghetto Graders Network, our social media platforms, TLP TV on YouTube, and Somba Jeff the Legend on Facebook. We are rolling down, and as we started off, kindly send in your comment. You can share and you can keep watching the stream. We remain here for transparency, objectivity, and sanity. We are rolling down. And our guest, we saw Pasaris after last demonstrations or protests. We saw Pasaris. She's nominated women rep or elected. She's elected women rep, Nairobi women rep. And we saw she has a bill that there is a way demonstrations should not be done very close to key government offices. And maybe the bill is coming down to a point whereby you are not, it's like they want to remove demonstrations. And, okay, you can tackle that one first, the anti-demo bill. How do you see of it?
Well, I think if you look at the pros and cons of it, I think the cons outweigh the pros. So kumaanisha it's not a good bill. It's a good bill, but iko na negativity mingi. Because ukiangalia, the reason why people demonstrate is one of them ni, kama mko na memoranda as a people, mume agree maybe there is something that is not working. Munafaa muna march from wherever you are coming from to any government office, any government office, hata parliament, including parliament. Munafika pale, munasema we want to talk to the leaders, the National Assembly leaders. We have our memoranda here yenye tunataka muongelele. Sisi kama wa Kenya tumeleta hii. So the police should be the ones to escort you mpaka kwa parliament buildings, mupeane, mseme this is what we want. Kama ni kwa Ministry of Interior, munaenda mpaka kwa ofisi, munapeana, munasema this is not working. Our security system ni mbaya and this is what we want. The same to the president and every other place. But now what they are trying to do, it is ile kinaitwa just to try and make demonstration more of a criminal activity. Okay? You ukiangalia tu from that angle, in more of criminalizing this thing, and it's against the law, because picketing, demonstration are all lawful. It's allowed by the constitution, whereby you can picket, you can raise, and in fact, most governments in Africa understand maandamano more than just normal word. So I think Pasaris one, I think it's more impulsive. Ni ana follow the procedure of the moment. Hata ukiangalia, there is also an MP, I don't know if alikuwa from the central Kenya or where, pia alikuwa nataka kuleta the same, whereby now at the people who are calling for demonstrations should be held liable for anything yenye naharibika. So naona, now based on our political realignment, unajua tu vizuri, sahi people can hire guns and people can also have guns. So definitely mtu ukiweka maandamano yako hata kama ni peaceful, mtu ataleta some few guns. Au guns waharibu tu vitu kidogo tu hapo tu. Then after hapo wewe ubaki wewe sasa unaambiwa you pay. So naona, so hiyo ni ile mtu anakuambia nataka uandamane lakini jaribu kuandamana uone. So it's not working. I think a bill can be made whereby now maybe just to bring more sanity to it, but anything that inajaribu ku make demonstration, picketing and airing of our views in a democratic space, hiyo ifai ku see the light of the day kama hii Pasaris. There's a lot that needs to be changed ndio ikue kitu ina support peaceful and democratic demonstrations.
Okay, now the next thing, and I think you've touched on it, but it's good that you expound. It's about now the rights to picket, to demonstrate, or even to be on the streets, and what is the limit of you demonstrating or even picketing?
Ukiangalia from what the constitution says about demonstration, picketing and everything of that sort, nime-explain nikasema kwamba as a people, kitu ya kwanza ni you need to alert. For example, let's say you want to demonstrate in town. The OCS of Central Police Station, because Central iko town vizuri, Kamukunji iko mbali kidogo. So the OCS or Central Police Station lazima akuwe alerted, anapatiwa notice kwamba we are going to demonstrate on this day and we need your officers to go with us from mahali tutaanzia, mnaweka roads. Mnamwambia the demonstration will start from this road to this road, ifike parliament ama the way you are targeting now. Nasema tutafika parliament buildings, tutaenda kwa ofisi ya interior, office of the president or this office, unakuwa specific. Then tukitoka hapo we will converge at a certain place, speak to the media people or maybe do something there, then move. Maybe kama tunaona kama ya juzi let us use the example ya remembering the heroes June 25th, the one that ended. The procession was okay, but now there's kulikuwa na something that was not so apparent, or equal well elaborated. The demonstration were to reach Uhuru Park, then from there they were to occupy State House. So with that in mind, given that yes, State House is a public place, but it's also a protected place. So lazima pia tuangalie where are we targeting, and will our actions actually make someone feel like a in danger or not? Alafu pia, what are some of the limitations to it? Because they saw last year what happened. They thought it was a joke, but all of a sudden people broke into parliament. Unaona, ilianza tu kama watu wanachezea nje ya parliament, but all of a sudden waka break in. So definitely the president hangekuwa so easy to allow the State House thing watu kuzunguka sana, because you never know. Unaweza fikiria ni hawa wako hapa, kumbe kuna team inaingilia ile pande nyingine. So definitely tukaizo. But what a real demonstration looks like ni one, if you're not going anywhere, maybe you're just roaming around, going around the street, educating people, because kuna wale wenye tu wanakuanga activists. You just go move around, then you go home. Una explain when it will start, when it will end. Then you need to understand what the law says about demonstration. When should it end? Tao unapatanga saa moja, watu bado wana demonstrate 6:30 and stuff like that. And in most cases unapatanga ni between 5 and 6. Mnaambiwa ikifika 6 p.m. you should be out of town, demonstration imeisha. But unapata wengine wana exceed, inakuwa too much. So what should be done in terms of a real demonstration? Notify the OCS, then with goodwill anafaa kupatia security, and this security people wanafaa kuescort from where you will start to where you will end. But sahi pia unapata, that's what nakwambia pale, unapata sasa kuna watu pia wanga wana feel a peaceful demo to them is not a thing. Unaona kama there's a time in Kisumu people were demonstrating, wakasema wakamaliza vizuri, then kufika saa 8 hivi they were so peaceful, then wakaanza kujiambia maandamano bila tiaga si maandamano. Unaona, then they started throwing stones at a police station so that wao watu watoke nje na tear gas. Unaona, so it's more of a provocation. So it is possible for people to do a peaceful demo, but now also the kichwa ngumu ya the leaders that we have, will they listen to a peaceful demo? That's the thing. Because the other time people were demonstrating on June 25th of last year, people were demonstrating outside, but they were busy passing a bill inside. So until people were storm parliament, they wakaona we ni kubaya. They ran for their lives, then our president came in akasema, I am not going to sign. So inamaanisha kwamba they don't understand the peaceful protest, they understand the violence protest. And as we're also sending a wrong message to the youth. Hata wakijaribu kuplan a peaceful demonstration, nasema that's a waste of time. So why should we waste our time? Let us do something yenye wana understand. And unapata sasa inaenda beyond the limit of what a true demonstration should look like.
Okay, there is a one word narrative, one term in line with now us trying to send a message that is not fit for the youth. And again, I think what you've posted is still right, because if I come in peace, you feel that things are still okay. So if I have to be violent, is the time that you have to understand that now things are not working and I have to wake up. And maybe if I have to come in or even through violence to you, I don't think whether you'll still perform as you're supposed to perform. There need to be a way where we understand one another as citizens and as leaders. You stand at your role to know this is what I'm supposed to be doing and this is what I'm not supposed to be doing at the same time. So in line with that, we sing a lot of narratives. We've seen cousins, we've seen sisters, and we've seen bros everywhere. And now the very top narrative is now the one term. Yes.
So with politics, I think our president PIA, okay, vitu ye mwenye alijiletea, I can respectfully say that, because ukiangalia, when you tell people ilianzia huko nyuma with the uongo thing, unaona, he was saying the same things, people don't see them. Then pia anapeana too many pledges na already zile alipeana hajafanya. So people started calling him kaongo. Unaona, then wakaanza kaongo, it camouflage to Kasongo. Unaona? Which ilikwama. So after hapo tena sasa people wakaanza kuona huyu jamaa afai kuenda more than even 5 years because 5 years is too much. 5 years is more than enough his leadership. So wakachange wakasema now from Kasongo wakaanza must go. So you must go was not actually more viable because removing a president from Africa from any African city kwa rahisi you need a lot. So they decided now instead of using must go, let us now go to the one term. So one term inamaanisha kipiga 5 years yake aende. So with all these things it's more of a political slogan because hata ukiangalia wa former president Uhuru Kenyatta ilikuwa ni maliza uende. You see people were just tired wewe maliza tu hiyo 10 years yako gera raia. So the same way na huyu ni one term. Wewe maliza tu yako moja watu usiongeze ingine, just do the one term. See, so these slogans wanga zinakwama na people and they are more of clarion calls. Ni kama tu vile uko na mawako fasisi mbulizi, okay? Kuna word yenye inatumika maybe uzalendo, ingiza uzalendo ndani ya watu the way Moi used to do it whereby show this people nyayo umoja togetherness the same way na hii sasa wanatumia hiyo one term to rally everyone. Okay, as a clarion call let's come together, let's work on this to make sure kwamba ni one term whereby now mona pia politicians wamezichukua and also ukiangalia pia Gachagua has been bringing more kama hiyo high cousins na umeona pia imekuwa part of the clarion call. It's more kuangalia watu naona kila mahali anaenda anasema nyinyi ni cousins wengu, nyinyi ni mashemeji zangu and stuff like that. So it's more of who bring people ile stop looking at people as your enemies. Sisi ni cousins. Unaona? Sisi ni tuko tu hapa, sisi ni pale, we are Bantus and pia tunaweza waana na wale Makushites tukue mashemeji. So it's more of trying to lure people to your side by using terms zenye wata resonate with. That's why ukienda mahali pengi unasikia mtu akisema hi anaanza hi cousins the same na hiyo one term. So it is now the hi cousins versus one term. So these are slogans, they are political slogans, but now it just depends with what you do with them because now hapo determinisha where you stay beyond the boundaries of the law and when now you start jumping and going outside the law.
Okay, now we live in a very interesting country. And we've checked as a country and we've seen with the eyes of our president that the state of the church in State House is dilapidated and we have to change it to a massive 1.2 billion. How do you make of that? And we have strikes from MPDU teachers, and I think there is a kind of examination that should not be done because capitation is not still available. And I watched some schools at the remotest, if we can call it that, part of Kitui, that pupils are learning under trees, and other states like Wajir and other places that we cannot mention all. And we've seen the most important thing that we can do is we need to make a very beautiful church, a massive church, at the State House compound. Yes.
Well, you know, ukiangalia our president hata kuna juzi na mtu alikuwa, I think it's my sister alikuwa anasema kuna time unaweza chukia mtu mpaka uanze kumhurumia. Like yani kama ni mpaka unamhurumia, this guy has gone through a lot. However, sometimes unasemanga pia kuna shida zingine ni za kujiletea. You can easily just avoid them because I know maybe I can't criticize building of churches. I being a Christian, I believe we need more churches, which is very much okay. It's within what we should do. And yeye sio mtu wa kwanza kujenga church. It should also be noted that because it is watu wamejenga makanisa. Hata most of these are called preachers, pastors. Wengi wao unapatanga wanaanzanga mijengo zao wenyewe. Mtu anaweka church yake. So having a church is not a sin, it's a good thing. But now kuna kitu tunaitangwa priorities and intentions.
Yes.
Okay? As a leader unafaa uangalie. Unaona kwa mfano kwa nyumba yako ni kwako ndio. Pesa ni yako, right? But wewe kama Jeff umekuja kwako, watoto wako wako njaa. Ndio nimewaletea TV kubwa. Naambia watoto baba nataka tu watch cartoon. You see? Pesa ni yako. You are allowed to buy what you want or to do whatever you want with it because we can't show you what to do. But now sasa wewe mwenyewe as a person you should be asking yourself between TV na watoto wangu kukula, which one should be more urgent?
Which should come first?
Okay? So ukinunulia TV ndio wata watch TV, it's okay. But now have you solved the immediate problem? You see? So sasa watu wana imagine juzi tumeona hiyo feature ya Turkana huko Lodwar where the child was alikuwa anasoma nje ya Ajuu hakuna light. You see?
Yeah.
So people can argue of a lot of things, but mimi naambianga stop arguing from the church point of view ati wengine wanasema Yesu alienda kuomba mlimani. That was Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay? Church lazima zijengwe, but
Yeah.
for the priorities, our president should look at it. How about the impact, the intention? What is the intention of having a church in State House? And what is the intention of not having one? And how will it benefit now Kenya as a whole in terms of evangelism? And a target as a more than 3,000 seater.
Yeah.
Now, how many people will be having their way there? Because we know State House is a protected place. So who will be going to that church? Because remember now the problem is church should not have limitations. Anyone should be allowed to go to church. You see? Hata sasa unapataga hata mlevi analetwa kanisani because you don't know, maybe amekuja kuchange life yake na unamfukuza atipeleka ulevi yako. So so you can't limit who is coming to church. So ukijenga pale State House, who are you targeting wakuje? What is your intention with that church? Chaplain ni ule. Who knows about the chaplain? Who knows what happens in that church? So kuna a lot that can happen. So mimi na feel akona pesa, and I'm happy pia nimeona anafanya women empowerment hapo nje, but we don't know how impactful that is. But mimi na feel if angefanya kitu kwa mfano, unaona kama hiyo lighting, hiyo 1.2 billion, if anaweza tengeneza church amalize, then achukue another project, because tumesema church iko sawa ajenge tu, but achukue apeleke kitu kama pale Turkana where people don't even have lights to start. Afanye program ya lighting in that area of Turkana, naambie watu hii sio pesa ya serikali, ni yangu. Mimi ndo nimejitolea weka street lights huku to make sure that watu wa hii area no one goes hivi na hivi. Or from I know we as a country don't have money. Because what is anajenga pale is a public structure. Hiyo hata any other president atakuja kuingia hapo kwa hiyo church, itakuwa hata enda nayo akitoka. So the same way hata kitokea another thing somewhere else which is more apparent kama hii education. Aseme nimeamua kuchukua my own money, niweke hapo kwa capitation of school, ni make sure kwamba hao watu wangekosa exam due to lack of money, nimepump in my 2.1 billion. You see, people will feel it like, wow, the president is actually taking our pain. He's understanding our needs. Hata kama you don't need to do too much. You just need to do everything with love and with the pure intention. People will appreciate.
Yeah, sure. And now there is a kind of contradiction around here, because State House is public land. And our president is building the massive church using his personal money. And again, church belongs to everyone, as we've said. And our government belongs to everyone and is building a church for Christians at the same place. Some stories moving around looking like a bit controversial is that when you compare these 3 or 4 aspects, it's like there is the aspect of looking like, then we quote, grabbing. Yes. Yeah,
it's nimeona so many lawyers argue on the same, wakisema kwamba there is no problem in building a church, na kuna wale wanasema there is a problem in building the church, na one of them wamesema kwamba you cannot use public money, private money to build a public something without legislation. No, you need some rules of engagement. Kwa mfano unaona kama investor akikuja kutoka tulese America, alafu tumpe land atengeneze a plant, let's say kama vile alienda UK to pitch some ideas, then akaambiwa they will come to invest. When they come, huku kwanza wakiwa UK, they had a memorandum, wali understand, memorandum of understanding. We are coming to do this thing in Kenya, and it's going to benefit who. There is a clear structure of things. Then number 2, wanasema the money will come from the government of UK, United Kingdom, and this money is going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So with this, our president building a church at State House, I don't think kuna any legislation, because they anasema the only reason amepeana ni there was a church before. I am just improving it. The same way I'm improving State House. Yes, State House is being improved, renovated by public money, because tomorrow iko budget, right? So it is understood. Obviously the same always yeka State House ika mbaya na teach State House, improvement yake inafaa ikue, but with the church one sasa ni hiyo does it mean that ana create a space whereby anyone can see any public land around? Jumini niko na pesa, I can just build anything anywhere because anyway ni pesa yangu natumia, you see. So what does that show to other people? Given that is the symbol of authority, whereby whatever you do we see. It's just like the father in a house. If baba nyumba unafanya vitu your children see, and the next time they do it watasema tulifanya because baba alifanya, or tulifanya because because mama alifanya. So pia yeye lazima atueleze kwe very clear and intentional as to what prompted it, which is we know alikuwa anaona the church imekaa hapo na mabati nimezeeka, but also lazima tuelezee this part because also there is a Catholic church up kando. You see, then also sasa lazima tuoneshe why did he opt for this, not the Catholic church, and now what does that show us? So kuna a lot of things is kopale, then also the reason why how we arrived to that idea let me renovate this church and use my own money, not public money, given that the structure itabaki hapo even eternity.
Okay, good. Remember, you're watching the Spheres of Life EBN TV, and this is Fixing the Political Misfits. I'm reading some of your comments, then we move on. I think what we shall be doing is just a very small thing, and we shall be seeing, after I read the comments, we shall see, we shall touch on Ruto not apologizing to anyone why he's building the church there, and we shall be playing a clip for you as we go on to finalizing the show. So we have Dina Mwanya. Eastland is well represented. Welcome our guests. We have Sharon Visiawa, Madara represented here. We have Dina again. Good evening, our host JS. Good to see you. Tuko pamoja hadi tamati. Asante. Odiek Simon watching. We have David tuned in. Sharon Visiawa again here. Sabasaba, a day of civic reflection, but behind the scenes, I just feel danger. So let's spread peace and love. I think we stop there because of time. As far as comments are concerned, we have, I'm told our time is almost running out. No, in line with still what we are doing about our president doing a magnificent and massive charge around State House. We saw a clip where he's not ready to apologize to anyone, and I think it is a trend with our president that every time he does anything, I think he's the kind of people who, as you've said, you've given an analogy of parent and children, because you feel that you are the head, you have to do everything even without consulting. So I feel now, I think this is the last clip I've seen with President Ruto not ready to apologize with others behind or even back or even previous ones. So what do you make of our president now? Because as we've gone through those aspects, it being a public land, private money, church belonging to Christians and government belonging to every tribe. Now, how do you make of our president? And I think this marries the issue where we talked of our leaders not trying to listen after we put them into power. So I think you can combine both.
I can say this imetoka kwa ilianza nyuma because there was huyu government economist advisor David Ndi. Some time back alisema Gen Zs are just online wankers who just make noise on the internet but cannot do anything hapa chini. Na hizo vitu kama hizo ndo zili bring the anger last year. They apart from hizo za people showing their opulence and the use of public resources vibaya moving in and out of Kenya, but also utterances vitu leaders wote walikuwa wanasema zili boil up, people were boiling. So now for example our president when we apologize hata wenyewe let us use Gachagua.
Or even before you go, I'm told that the clip is ready, we can see it first.
Mimi ni mtu naamini Mungu na I have no apologies to make kwa kujenga kanisa. I have no apology. Mnanielewa? Na hakuna mtu nitaomba msamaha kwa kujenga kanisa. Tutajenga kanisa ya Mungu. Shetani akasirike afanye ile anataka. Ni mnanielewa? Naambiwa ati hata kwa magazeti leo ati kuna mtu anasema ati mimi najenga kanisa hapa State House. Ni kweli mimi najenga kanisa hapa State House. Ni mnanielewa? Hapa State House nilikuja nikakuta kanisa ya mabati. Kanisa ya mabati inatoshana na State House hata kwa maoni yenu. So na sijengi na pesa ya serikali, mimi najenga na pesa yangu. Hapa nitakuja kuwapeleka siku nyingine twende tuombe huko. So nilikuta mimi sijaanzisha kanisa State House, nilikuta kanisa ikiweko. shida tu ilikuwa ya mabati. Sasa nimeamua nijenge kanisa inatoshana na State House, na haitagharimu serikali ya Kenya peni moja. Nitajenga na pesa zangu, kwa sababu kanisa ya Mungu ni mahali ambapo panatoshana na heshima.
That is our president addressing, like, I think everyone in this country, and is the top leader who every eye is set on.
Yeah.
So what do you make of such sentiments?
So, as I was saying earlier, there's a time aliomba apology when we had the National Prayer Day. And the preacher, what we call was sent by God. And I thought that was more of a turning point, because alikuwa so much authoritative. Like aliguza what was happening in Kenya at that point. And our president stood authoritatively na akasema ana apologize. Tuliona mpaka Museveni ali apologize. Watu walikuwa wanasema we are waiting for Mama Samia Suluhu to also apologize, but he didn't come. Maybe I'll apologize, we didn't know. So when Gachagua was asking for forgiveness, he used the word if. Nimewakosea, if. So when
this is to mean
you see, when kuna words unaweza tumia in English and mtu ataona this is not a genuine apology or repentance, because repentance wendake kwa mtu ukisema ati if you are apologizing because you know your mistake, so don't put if, just say people were killed, properties were destroyed, a lot of anarchy was seen, a lot of policies did not favor you, we had promised you a lot but did not do, and we apologize for all that, and many more zenye hatujataja, and we promise to seek justice for those who lost their properties, family members, and etc and etc. So that is the kind of apology people were expecting. So with this akisema I'm not going to apologize, anafungua zile za kitambo. So the thing ni angesema yes, building a church, I'm not going to apologize for building a church, because the church is the place of God, and also in the same Bible we are encouraged to build churches so that God himself can find a place where he will dwell with these people. But now, in this context, there is some controversies. People are wondering, why are you doing this? So instead of saying, I'm not going to apologize, which is okay, add something else that is going to explain why that was important for you to do. Why is the church significant ikiwa pale State House, and why do you think it was more of a priority than any other thing? So that hata watu wakikaa pale home, they are able to look and maybe just understand and say yes, okay. President amesema hata apologize because of this and this. That one makes sense. We can forgive him for that. But also kuna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see? So I think ni yeye sasa angalie how am I going to communicate to the people, because people are angry. Na as much as maybe the one term inaweza kaa kama more of an analogy or maybe a political slogan, but if we continue in this direction, atapata kwamba something ilikuwa nafikiria ina happen might not happen. Na inafikanga point in policy, because unasikianga hakunanga permanent enemies, permanent friends. Utapata wakati the 5 years zinaisha, ODM na everyone else kazi imeisha, they may shift. Na hata mwaka exposed, na wakibeka exposed, then inampata tena anarudi kwa drawing board, nitashika nani mwingine. And you find a place inakuja sana hiyo mambo ya one time inakuwa actualized, because now no one will even want to listen to you.
Sure. And I think our time is up. I think I give you 2 minutes to say hi to 2 people, then your final word. Then I think we're not through with the issue of apology from our president. And again, I think it is something that affects the leaders that are below him. So I think when you come next time, because remember our viewers, we have a lot of things we have to handle when it comes to fixing the political misfits. This is something that we shall be clearing when it comes to next Sunday. So kindly keep tuned to EBN TV, the Spheres of Life. We shall have Gladson and many people will be discussing or even tackling the issue of fitting what should be fit in our political gown. So Gladson, we shall still take from there when it comes to apologies from our leaders. And I think we voters are the bosses of our leaders. So we shall pick from there. And so I give you like 1 minute, final word, and say it to 2 people. Usichapwe hapo nje.
Okay. So first, before giving my final remarks, let me say hi to each and every person mwenye ananisikizanga. Nimeona Madhari Massive mmejitaja pale. I know some people from Dagoretti are also watching, and each and every friend of mine who has tuned in to watch. As our host amesema hapa, see you again next Sunday, we will continue. Then also I have to say hi to Rose, Faith, Happiness, Jefferson, Frankson. All these are my siblings. Wamesema waliniambia wewe ulitaja Happy the other time, sisi wengine kututaja. I think nimetaja kila mtu. Maybe niongeze Valerie and Celery also. I'm saying hi to all of you wherever you're watching, and also yes, our always tuned in viewer, we will follow mkubwa Shana Sharon Visiawa is always following. Kudos to you. So my final remarks is simple. Tomorrow we are having Sabasaba, and it's an ideal day. It's a day for change. Now this change we can do it with minimal damage, because we don't also want to create a scenario whereby we are now pitting ourselves against the business people, because it is painful to lose your properties. Imechukua a lot of time to make, na wewe unajua the sacrifice you went through. Kama ule mwenye alikuwa na alisema property worth 1.2 million ilienda hivyo. So unaweza imagine mtu kama huyo ameanza tena zero, aliweka tena kibanda yake hapo nje anauza fast food. It's painful. So how can we call for our rights, call for what is right, and but also ensuring that yule mtu mwenye tunataka I understand we are fighting for him or her, me at the end of the day. Then number 2, how can we make sure kwamba we also, as much as we are protecting our rights, we are also protecting other people. It is very key. So we need to find a balance whereby now we as a people, we should not create more division through our maandamanos than bringing unity. So let us stick to the law. Kitu si chako usiguse. In fact, nimeona watu wakisema kwamba au guns wameibwa. Do you know that there is something called civilian arrest, whereby ukiona muizi unasema huyu si wetu. Mko wengi kushinda wezi. Simshike. Shika wao, polisi wako hapo, mseme sisi we are peaceful protesters. Na hawa ni wezi. So shika mmoja mmoja mkipeana ni polisi, because once civil arrest is done, nyinyi wote ni evidence. Jamaa wanaenda kwa ndani. Then you continue the peaceful arrest, the peaceful demonstration. That will be good. So thank you so much. You can also connect with me, Gladson Madine, on all social media platforms, and thank you so much.
Yeah, that's great. Outgoing Gladson Madine, Director, Ghetto Graders Community Network. I'm the face of the show, Jeff Kimaiyo. This is EBN TV, the Spheres of Life. Good night. Tomorrow, be safe. Thank you.